Welcome back to my garden. Welcome to my mid-May garden tour. I am starting you out here outside of my gate in front of this beautiful rhododendron that is in bloom, that always blooms this time of year in mid-May. It's so pretty. Always look forward to it and always wish that it lasted a little bit longer. We have had a couple, maybe 2 to 3 days of super rainy weather here in Maryland. We are just north of Baltimore and really got slammed with some rain, which was desperately needed. It is really making the garden pop and a lot of things flop over, as you will see. But let's take a look at what's going on here in the middle of May. Well, I've been slowly chipping away at some garden projects, and one of the things that I recently added are these Mystic Spires blue salvia here in my obelisk bed. I have this sagey minty green obelisk right here, and I love to fill this whole area out with salvia and zinnias, sunflowers, whatever things I feel like putting in this bed. I kind of experiment a little bit each year, put something different in each year, but I always have had these Mystic Spires salvia. These will get very big. Right now they are teeny tiny, but they will explode any day now, begin to really put on some growth. The bees and butterflies, hummingbirds, just absolutely love them. They are marginal here. I had some here last year that did not overwinter, unfortunately for me, but they did overwinter the year before and they were spectacular. So who knows, maybe I'll get lucky again this year. I constructed this little mini fence to help support the salvia as it gets bigger. This is just made of my old hydrangea stem cuttings and some bamboo stakes. I think it turned out really good. I may need to add some extra support as we go along, but for right now, I think it adds a little extra charm to this space. I have a bunch of sweet peas planted at the base of the obelisk that are wanting to take off hopefully soon, and some hollyhocks that came back from last year. I planted a lot more than that, but for some reason the seeds just didn't really take, but I will take what I can get. I'm excited to see how those do right along the wall here. My winter gem boxwood hedge is quite floppy right now and in need of a trim. I may get to that soon. If I do it, I will be using manual clippers, not hedge clippers, which if you know, you know. I had a bad accident last year with the hedge clippers, so may get to that soon now that the weather seems like we're gonna get a little bit more sunshine. But right beyond the boxwood, I have those beautiful Limetta hydrangea and a crepe myrtle right there, but the Limetta hydrangea are already starting to bloom out. I can't believe that all of my hydrangea are putting on buds right now. It seems earlier, but maybe it's not. I'm trying to recall when they bloomed out last year, but these are gonna be in full bloom before we know it. I have another one right over there on the other side of the crepe myrtle, just filling out this little bed right here. Around my crepe myrtle, I decided to use these concoleus this year. I really like the broader leaf on these than the ones I used last year, and I'm excited to see how they do. I hope that they fill out this area nice and maybe peek over the boxwood a little bit. So that'll be a good experiment. I like to use something a little bit different each year. And I'm really loving how the patio is looking this year with the new wicker furniture. And I decided to add some pops of red this year with red geraniums in clay pots. Absolutely love the look of red geraniums in clay pots, and feel like I've just been missing red in the garden. So I've been trying to be more intentional about adding more red this year. It seems that the sun is starting to finally peek out a little bit, although I do love how things look when it's cloudy out. So hopefully we don't get too much sun, but a little bit would be nice. Over here, I added just a little potting bench, and I'm on the lookout for something to put on this bare wall right here to cozy it up a little bit. And this is what I call my bird bath bed right behind the crepe myrtle. I added this bird bath this past year, and you can see one of my incredible sunflowers is blooming out, looking super pretty. I'm so excited to see how these do right here in this bed. I have one to the left and one to the right of it, and Another thing that is blooming is this beautiful peony. It is looking a little waterlogged right now, but this is my only peony bloom at the moment. I love it. I got this from my mom this past year, took it from her garden since she moved, and I'm in love with the color and so excited to see it grow over the years and get bigger and bigger. So thankful for that right now. I also added this boxwood right back there. That is a better boxwood. I will show you the tag. I have it right here. So this boxwood stays a little bit more on the narrow side and gets 6 to 8 feet high. It's called the Skylight boxwood, my better boxwood. So my hope is that this will help to kind of conceal all of this piping right here and just provide more structure. I'm thinking about also adding 2 of those to my obelisk bed that I just showed you over there. I have some penstemon that I divided this year. This is the Midnight Masquerade penstemon that is doing fantastic and putting on blooms, getting ready to bloom out. I can keep dividing that, and my goal is to divide it right in front of the bird bath here, kind of right in front of the sunflowers, and have this be just one big hedge of penstemon. Love the darker foliage that it provides, just a contrast right here. I think it'll look super pretty, and obviously does not mind being divided at all. I just bought this last year from Home Depot, I believe, and already this year I was able to divide it. So that is definitely a win. This is the other side. You can see it putting on all of those beautiful buds. I cannot wait to see it bloom. It gets these really pretty purple flowers that the pollinators love, hummingbirds love. So excited to see that come into bloom. And here comes the sun after days of rain. It feels really nice. I'm sorry that you're gonna have to deal with the shadows now, but it does feel really good. I have these derug boxwood right here to my right that are looking extra floppy right now and definitely in need of a good haircut to just kind of sturdy them up a little bit. My anemone, Fall in Love Sweetly anemone, is taking off and filling in this space. I may spread anemone all down the front of the border here from another location that I have it planted, just to have this be one big kind of swoop of anemone. But my goodness, things are looking so pretty. Everything is just popping out of the ground so rapidly at this point. I have hydrangea popping up, limelight prime. This is a phlox that I have not been able to keep from the rabbits, so I've never seen it bloom. I am so excited to see it bloom this year. It's doing fantastic. I think dogs might help in that regard, scaring off the bunnies. Right behind it, I have a royal sunset lily that is getting ready to take off. You can see it is forming its flower buds. That will be a beautiful kind of purpley orangish red color. It's a real pretty bicolor lily. My milkweed I transplanted from my holly bed over on the other side of my house. I am going to really enjoy attracting more butterflies and pollinators into our garden this year. I have another peony right here that I've transplanted one too many times, so it is not putting on blooms yet, but this gets, I believe, a really pretty light pink flower on it. And I love using this galvanized bin right here for my herbs. I have some thyme that overwintered from last year, and I just planted this basil and an oregano, and I'm sorry, that's not an oregano, that is a rosemary back in there. This is an oregano. This is an ornamental oregano, Kent's Beauty. I love this oregano. I planted this last year up on my deck. It gets beautiful purple tubular flowers. It is such a pretty ornamental oregano. Highly recommend that. I have a dahlia coming into bloom. These I got at the greenhouse, so they are blooming much earlier than if I were to have just planted them directly into the ground. But this is like really gorgeous tricolor dahlia that I am really enjoying, just bringing that pop of orangey red to the front border here with the dark foliage. I think looks great. My daisies and black-eyed Susans are really taking off. I have an euphorbia right there that will be blooming out soon. You can see my catmint is looking a little droopy right now from all of the rain that we just had. And my lady's mantle, oh my goodness, it looks beautiful in the rain. I do wish it was still cloudy so I could show you a little bit better, but this is one of the huge attractors of lady's mantle, is that beautiful, just the leaf and how it looks when it's wet, the raindrops. Oh my goodness, it's just so pretty. It just looks like the rain is almost sparkling on this plant. And this plant has gotten super big since I planted it in the ground last year. I will be able to divide lady's mantle for days. It's also putting on its like frothy yellow flowers. I think are so pretty. They just kind of just blow in the wind above the plant and add just a little bit more interest to it. I think that those are so cute. So lady's mantle is really loving this spot right here. Right behind the lady's mantle, I have an agastache and a bee balm that is really putting on growth and getting nice and tall like I wanted it to. This will get pretty red flowers. This is called the Jacob's Klein bee balm. I planted it a lot, main reason for hummingbirds. It is a huge hummingbird attractor, so I'm so excited to see that, as well as this agastache, another great attractor for pollinators. And I already see spotted lanternfly, little nymphs on the stems. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I don't like seeing that so much. The iris, unfortunately, is out of bloom already, but did look so beautiful with its gorgeous purple flowers. I love how it kind of coincided with the purple catmint that I have going on, and my purple allium also just really blend nicely with all of those plants. My allium are all out of bloom. Some of them did not bloom because I transplanted them, and I guess I didn't water them enough, but they kind of withered away. So hopefully next year they will pop out of the ground just as strong as ever. But you can see things are just really loving the rain and now the warmth and the sunshine, I'm sure, is gonna just make things pop even more. This agastache has gotten huge compared to the other one. I planted this here. I was thinking that the agastache would stay shorter than the bee balm, but here they're about the same size. So I may have to do some editing on that as we go about, I don't know, next year I'll see how the two grow again. But they definitely are gonna need controlled. They grow so crazily and self-seed quite readily, so I'm really gonna have to keep on top of those two plants for sure. But I thought it was worth it to attract all of the pollinators into the garden. Right behind my bench here, I have some foxglove coming into bloom. I love foxglove. I had them in my garden for the first time last year, and they are just always going to be something that I keep in my garden. You can see that I have them all behind this bench here. Some are starting more than others. I'm wondering if this side over here just gets a lot more shade compared to the right side, so they are much slower to take off, but I really want to spread them all throughout this border here and in other borders of my gardens. I think they just are so pretty. Peeping out of this bench, I have another peony that is getting buds on it. Now this will get a lot taller. This will pop above this bench in years to come. I think it's a white peony that actually was my grandmother's that I took from my mom's garden as well. So very excited to see that grow up. And these are the wee white hydrangeas that this is the best I've ever seen them look. They are doing fantastic, so full and lush this year. And again, putting on their buds so soon. They will just be filled with these white flowers. Super happy with that this year. And of course, the caramel hookah right here at the end is looking really good. Really just putting on a lot of growth, and I just love that color that it adds to the shady corner right here. It brings that orange in with all of the purple right now at this time of year. I think is so pretty. So very happy with how things are doing on this side. Let's take a little stroll and see what else is going on. I'm really starting to enjoy this shady border back here as I add more and more perennials and just get it more filled out. The hosta is looking beautiful that I transplanted from my front porch. It's really getting bigger and filling out. And I recently added these heuchera, wild berry, I believe is the name. It's a Proven Winners heuchera, the same one that I have down in the other corner that I will show you. And I really think that it just contrasts with that hosta really nicely. I have a camellia back in there that is doing well, putting on growth. It will eventually fill out this space and get to be about 6 to 8 feet high. My hummingbird feeder is looking a little crooked today. Need to fix that, but I did see a hummingbird a couple of nights ago. I saw one on my feeder. I was so excited. Love, love, love hummingbirds. I have a clematis here that is trying to climb up that needs a little bit of help. This is the pink mink clematis, kind of an experiment to see how it does in shade. It is really flopping over here. If I can help to kind of tie it back up probably from all of the rain. So I'm not sure if that will end up flowering very much. I may have to move it to a different spot, but I just thought I would try. If you know of any vines that would do well in this mostly shady, kind of part shade area, just let me know. I would really appreciate it. I have some hellebore down here that I tried splitting from some other plants that I really kind of just rushed along. So they're not looking too great right now. And you're definitely gonna see all the weeds. There's lots and lots of weeds right now. These Annabelle hydrangea are doing so good. Look at how big they are. Oh my goodness, they're filling out. Really, they're touching almost at this point. Just about. Those two are, but these two have a little bit to go. Right under them, this is crazy. I had planted 3 Brunera back here a couple of years ago, and they all died on me. They just withered away. I don't know why, maybe just not enough moisture. And this year I noticed there's one popping up again. So somehow this guy survived a couple of years and is starting to grow again. So I'm just gonna let that be and see if I can get it into a healthy plant, and then maybe I'll move it. And this is some Hakanakloa grass, all gold, in front of the hydrangea that I'm trying to get to fill out this area. So that'll take another 2 to 3 years before it really gets going. I do have some more to add to that area, as well as some other exciting plants to add that I will bring you along for. Another pink mink clematis on this obelisk, and some hellebore down here that are looking a little bit better than the others, but still not fantastic. Hopefully next year will be a better year for that, to help them to recover from me splitting them. My new favorite hosta has got to be this autumn frost hosta. I love it. I love how it pops against the dark soil, and really any perennial that you put around it. I think it is so beautiful. It just has that like greenish blue center with the yellow margins around it. Oh, it's just such a pretty hosta. Right behind it is a fern, a painted fern that I'm trying to save, and then this gorgeous swath of columbine that unfortunately is just about done. These right here had self-sowed from previous years and are just looking so pretty. I love columbine so much. I have it growing all in this little space right here. Hopefully next year it will have self-seeded. I will also buy seeds to sow, but oh, I love it so much. Look at this beautiful patch of foxglove. This has got to be my favorite patch of foxglove. Oh man, it is looking so good right here. So healthy. I grew all of this from seed, all the foxglove from seed, but wow, what a healthy patch of foxglove. It clearly loves its space right here. I am really loving this corner right now. It is filling in so beautifully and just looking so lush at the moment. I am really, really enjoying it. This Brilliance Autumn Fern is looking very brilliant and very autumny right now. It comes out this beautiful rusty orange color. This is the first year the rabbits have not eaten them down. I think again because of the dogs. The dogs are coming in handy, as hard as they can be sometimes. They're digging and barking and whatever else they're doing. They are really doing a good job at keeping away the rabbits. So good job, doggies. Another favorite hosta of mine is this Wiggles and Squiggles hosta. I think it stands out super nicely in front of, that's an Elegance to the right, and then a blue halcyon. And I have a big Shadowland Woolala hosta back there that is really beginning to take off underneath this serviceberry tree. And then just really a repetition of those on this side. Another beautiful little patch of foxglove. So sweet. Pretty purple and kind of a light yellow bloom. Casablanca lily back there that is popping. Here's an anemone that will bloom closer to the fall that is taking off, living its life here. And then these are the other three wildberry heuchera that I was talking about that I added to the other side. Looking fantastic this year. Love this corner. It's so peaceful. Oh, just love all the hostas so much. To finish off our tour, I wanted to bring you out next to this glorious weigela. It is blooming its head off right now. The best that it has ever looked. Oh my goodness. Filled with flowers. So a quick story. Last year, we had to chop this all the way down to the ground to have some work done on some of our lines. And we had never cut it down to the ground. We just kind of kept trimming it. But we cut it probably a foot and a half to the ground. And it had gotten pretty woody and old at that point and was not putting on a very good show every year. So I really wasn't quite sure how it would come back. But as you can see, it gave it a massive rejuvenation prune and is looking spectacular. I cannot believe how beautiful this plant is now. I am in love with it. I didn't really like it before because it just didn't look good, but now it looks amazing. So this is a weigela. I do not know what variety. It's been here since we moved in, so it's probably one of the older varieties. And under that, I planted denim and lace Russian sage. I had one that I transplanted just a little bit to the front, and unfortunately it did not take the transplanting well, the one in the middle here. I'm hoping that it survives. I'm not gonna stress about it too much, but these other two I did just add. I think they will look so pretty against the weigelia's darker foliage right here. Some blue star junipers. I'm not quite sure where I'm putting those yet. And two incredible hydrangeas that are looking beautiful and already putting on their buds as well. Holy cow, this one is really budding out. Look at how big those buds are already. I can't believe that. So this one will be in full bloom before we know it. Let's take a walk inside the gate to see what's going on in my holly bed real quick. Probably the star of the show right now is this honeysuckle. This is a sensation honeysuckle that is about to burst with its flowers. You can see it is absolutely covered in blooms. Had one little flower that bloomed that is now spent, but this is going to be so pretty and adored by the pollinators. It has already completely filled out this trellis. I just put this in last year, so next year I may have to do some controlling on it, but oh, I love that honeysuckle. I have some autumn joy sedum down here that is looking really nice. I propagated that sedum from another grouping of plants I have over on the other side of my house. This lavender I grew from seed that is looking so good. I cannot believe how big this got this year. I just put this in the ground last year. I winter sowed these seedlings and they started out so tiny, and it just really likes this spot. I think partly because it's on a slope so it doesn't get too much water. Gold Rush Rudbeckia is really doing well. I may end up splitting that and moving it throughout this border. And I see my rose is starting to pop. I spy some beautiful pinkish red blooms. This is an Oh So Easy Rose by Proven Winners, the red rose. I have these on the other side of my house as well, and they always do really well for me. And my coneflower, I cannot believe, have grown so much. They are already putting on buds. I feel like that's super early, but here they are, looking amazing. These are 3 different kinds. I think there's a pink powwow, a summer song firefinch, and then another powwow white, I believe. And a penstemon that was my mom's. I do not know the variety of this one. I believe it gets some white flowers. It is looking amazing, adding a really nice contrast with the dark foliage against all of the green. And we need to go up and take a look at my geranium because it is looking beautiful right now. This is a perennial geranium, that another plant I got from my mom that does amazing. You can see it is just spilling over the pathway here. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of controlling on it, but it is super easy to control. I think it's just the geranium macrorhizome, is that the correct name? Gets these beautiful light pink flowers. Perfect plant if you don't know what to do, if you have part sun, full sun, shade. It likes it all and is fuss-free, covers the ground so beautifully, turns a really pretty kind of reddish color in the winter. And speaking of red, I have this Winecraft smoke bush that is looking really good right now. That is the best that it's ever looked. So very, very happy with this. This will stay on the shorter side. This is a dwarf to the full-size smoke bush, and I will control it in this space right in front of our hose link right here. I'll have to control it a little bit, but I am loving that this year. I hope that you enjoyed this little tour through my backyard today. I enjoyed being with you and just walking around and seeing all of the things that are just loving the rain and now loving the sunshine. I hope that you all are doing well and able to get out into your gardens and work and aren't drowning in too much rain, but thankful for the rain that we are getting. I will see you guys very soon. Have a great week. Bye.